Okay, let's get right into it. When you think of the most audacious, competitive, and flat-out successful entrepreneurs out there, you gotta put Larry Ellison right at the top of that list. He's the guy behind Oracle, and he didn't build his massive empire by following the rules. No. In fact, he built it by breaking pretty much all of them.
And this quote right here, this is basically the key to his entire philosophy. It's not just about having a better product or a smarter marketing plan. For Ellison, the real win, the game-changing kind of success, comes from finding that one thing everybody else just assumes is true and then proving it wrong. This is the heart of his whole playbook.
So, you gotta wonder, right? How did this one single contrarian idea become the foundation for one of the biggest tech empires on the entire planet? Well, it really boils down to 3 core rules he lives by. All right, let's jump into rule number 1. Be a contrarian. And this isn't just about, thinking outside the box. No, this is about actively betting against what all the experts are telling you is a sure thing. Okay, now this is where it gets really good. This slide shows you this rule in action at 2 absolutely critical moments for Oracle. First, way back in the day, IBM, the biggest name in tech, basically called relational databases toys for academics. And what does Ellison do? He bets the entire company that they would become the engine of global business. And then, decades later, when the conventional wisdom was that the cloud was this risky distraction, he didn't just test the waters. He goes all in. He pivots the entire company, betting its whole future on the cloud. Both times, the payoff was just immense. So here's the big takeaway for you. Don't just look for gaps in the market. That's what everyone else is doing. Instead, you need to look for the flaws in how the market thinks. That's where the real gold is. But look, having a contrarian idea is great and all, but it's totally worthless if you can't actually deliver on it. And that brings us to rule number 2, which you could argue is the most important one of all. For Larry Ellison, execution is everything. He literally said it himself. We live in a world where everyone has a billion-dollar idea. The real difference maker, it isn't the concept. It's being able to bring that concept to life perfectly. And this is where his background as an engineer just shines through. And this breaks it down perfectly. Step 1, it's all about superior engineering. Build something so good, so reliable, that it practically sells itself. That was his whole philosophy. If the product is just flat out better, people will want it. And step 3, you have to be paranoid about quality. This relentless focus on just getting it done and getting it done right is what turns a crazy idea into a company that dominates the market. And this just nails it, right? A decent idea that's executed flawlessly, it's gonna beat a brilliant idea that's executed poorly every single time. It's not about the idea, it's about the delivery. Master that, and you've got the win. Okay, which leads us to the final piece of this playbook. Rule number 3. Compete to win. See, for Ellison, business was never some friendly game of participation. Nope, it's a sport, and the goal is to absolutely dominate. He basically lives by what you could call the shark principle. Think about it, a shark can't just float there. It has to keep moving forward, or it dies. And that's how he sees a business. You have to have this relentless drive for growth and adaptation. There's just no time to rest on your laurels. This whole mindset is about not just wanting a piece of the pie, but aiming for the whole darn thing. It means you gotta treat business like a competitive sport, and you can never, ever stop learning. The guy is at an age where most people are long retired, and he's still Oracle's CTO, driving their next big moves. And maybe most importantly, you gotta focus on the next 10 years, not just the next 3 months. So the takeaway here is pretty clear. Building something that truly lasts, something with real value, it's a long game. You have to be ready to embrace that constant, competitive drive and stay in it for the long haul. So, okay, what does all of this mean for you? Well, these 3 rules, they're not just for building a tech giant. They're really a powerful playbook for anyone who wants to achieve some kind of unconventional success. It really is a simple 3-step framework. First, find the flaws in what everyone else thinks is true. Second, obsess over flawless execution. And third, play the long game. Always compete to win. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Larry Ellison built his entire empire by questioning everything everyone else just accepted as fact. So the real question for you to ask yourself is this: what piece of conventional wisdom in your job, in your industry, maybe even in your own life,
is just sitting there, waiting for someone like you to come along and prove it completely wrong.